we're gonna pivot some. Donald Trump, however you feel about him, he did pardon Larry Hoover's. So Larry Hoover, if you don't know who he was, GD. So song GD Anthem, if you don't know what they are. But Larry Hoover, his federal sentence was pardoned by President Donald Trump. Now, he's not going to get out because he still has like 200 years on the state charge. But I don't know what Donald Trump was thinking, but hey, he has the right to pardon whoever he wants to. But, well, I don't know if he has the right to pardon whoever he wants to, but that's he can pardon people. But we're going to watch this little video where they break down just who the leader of Larry Hoover was a little bit, and some of the interviews back in the day he did while he was in jail. But we're going to jump into that so we can fully deep dive into it so we can understand who Larry Hoover was. Now, if you don't know that song, it was a little, what was that? Trump should have freed Larry. Fuck that. It's just type in, who was it? Rooga, Rooga, GD Anthem. So.
They didn't let the GDs in the dough. Hey, Trump should have freed Larry. Fuck is wrong with dude?
I think it was 2021. But go check that song out. But let's jump into this video and get right into it.
We begin with breaking news. He was once one of the most notorious gangsters in Chicago. Tonight, President Trump is commuting the federal sentence of Gangster Disciples co-founder Larry Hoover.
Suzanne Lemonnier is in our newsroom. Suzanne, this move doesn't mean he'll be getting out of prison.
Erica, Joe, legal experts see this as a potential hollow victory. Now, while Hoover may be released from federal prison, he still has a 200-year state sentence for which a parole board has already denied early release. In 1993, Hoover spoke to former CBS News Chicago reporter John Davis, and at that time, Hoover was 42 years old and had already served 20 years in prison.
I've done my time. I paid my debt to society.
That was Larry Hoover, more than 3 decades ago. At that time, the leader of the Gangster Disciples and convicted murderer told our John Davis he had a lot of time to think about ways to stop the gang violence on the streets of Chicago.
One teenager don't like the other teenager because the way he wears his hat, because his ideology is different from his. A disciple don't like a vice lord. We all black people. It's no different.
At that time, Hoover, also known as King Larry, admitted being part of a fragile gang truce in the city and organizing a protest over plans to close health care clinics in African American neighborhoods. Ron Safer, the lead prosecutor in Hoover's federal trial, reacts to news Hoover's life sentence has been commuted by President Trump.
I was disappointed. I do not think that this is an appropriate end to the Larry Hoover story, at least the federal part of it.
Safer says Hoover was perhaps the most notorious criminal the state of Illinois has ever known.
He was convicted of running a continuing criminal enterprise that had approximately 30,000 members across 28 states, selling over $100 million worth of drugs in the state of Illinois alone each year.
$100 million in drugs. So I think this was back in like the 90s. So imagine the street price today. Jesus. Golly.
And he ran that entire operation with ruthless efficiency from prison, where he was serving a state sentence for double murder.
Safer also told us about Hoover being recorded, saying teenagers needed to sell drugs for his criminal organization. The recording was made a year after the Gangster Disciple leader was interviewed on CBS Chicago.
There was another tape where Larry Hoover said, "You have to share your drugs with these children." And I'm talking about 12 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old, so that they can sell it and they can have something. And he said, make them know that with you, they are somebody, and without you, they are nobody.
That is insane. You heard what he said? He said you need to make sure that they understand that with you, they are somebody. And without you, they are nobody. That is that's brainwashing 101. Brainwashing 101 is how you get to brainwash children or brainwash someone who is in a fragile state, who's just not ready to make life choices, it sounds like. But Jesus. And this was after he did that interview saying that he was going to clean up the community, that he was a better man.
Meantime, shortly after the commutation announcement, Hoover's son posted this picture on Instagram. That's a White House official holding a copy of the commutation. Hoover's attorneys say they're thrilled he's going to be released from federal custody, but again, he still has a 200-year sentence to serve for his crimes in Illinois.
20 years. So no matter what, Trump can't do nothing about the state case. So still got 200 years. But that's a crazy. Well, we gotta back that up and listen to that line one more time. That's a crazy line.
And without you,
right.
He said years old, so that they can sell it and they can have something. And he said, make them know that with you, they are somebody. And without you, they are nobody.
Meantime, shortly after the commutation announcement, Hoover's son posted this picture on Instagram. That's a White House official holding a copy.
That is wild. That is wild. But hey, still in jail, 20 years. He ain't getting out. That's just crazy. I'm gonna say that. I don't know why I say crazy sometimes, but hey, that is wild. Still got 200 years, but saying that 12 years, doing that to 12-year-olds, getting them hooked, making them think that you're the only one for them, the streets is the only life for them. Despicable. That is very despicable. I ain't gonna lie. Very despicable. Very despicable. All right, everybody, remember this is AC Reviews the Word. Remember to like and subscribe.